we're gonna stay in the NFL. Okay, we talked about this game yesterday. I had some takes to fire off, but one thing that we did not discuss, but one thing that went under the radar, but one thing that was brought to my attention was that Lamar Jackson wasn't there. Lamar Jackson did not travel to the playoff game versus the Bengals. And you know what that reminded me of? Have any of y'all seen The Lion King? Y'all saw that, right? The Lion King. Y'all remember when Scar, I think it was not Scar, Mufasa had like I don't know if it was his wedding, and Scar didn't show up. And Mufasa was like, yo, why you ain't show up to my wedding? That's exactly what this reminded me of for some weird reason. Don't mind me. My mind works in mysterious ways. But let's answer the question here. I'm Zay. I would love to hear from you first.
I think my opinion on this off air and right now it still stands that Lamar Jackson held out for he wants to get paid. I believe that Baltimore Ravens has done a disservice to him in his entirety of his career, or not the entirety of his career, well, just the last 2 years. They franchise tagged him last year. They didn't want to pay him last year, and then now just trying to franchise tag him again or not give him his contract. And Lamar Jackson, I think from week 12 when he had the sprained PCL, it was a 1 to 3 week recovery time frame. He's been out every game since, every week since. He's been practicing. The coach is saying, yeah, he's making tremendous strides. He's playing well. He's practicing well. He looks ready to go. And he's just not on the sideline. He's not playing. I think once he got hurt, he knew that that contract is on the line. He did not looking to pay him, and then probably looking to see if the injury is long term so that they won't pay him. And I believe deep in my soul, and I don't know, I don't have any confirmation from sources or anything. I believe the Baltimore Ravens organization truly fell in love with Tyler Huntley when Lamar Jackson was out for a few games. They thought they could do something with that team, with that player, a quarterback, and also he's on a cheaper contract. They don't have to pay him. So I think they're nickel and diming all the money and saving all this money for whoever, and they're not trying to pay Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson did the right thing by not traveling with the team because he would only be a distraction. All the cameras would be on Lamar Jackson on the sideline, not on the particular game itself. And I think, Lamar Jackson not traveling with the team was probably the best case scenario because who knows what kind of body language you would have had towards the coaches, towards the organization, towards anybody who was on that sideline. And that's something that you can't afford during that game when you're looking to win. I understand a lot of people have issues with Lamar Jackson, including Michael Vick, not being on the sideline. Saying that, oh, well, if the injury's not
Not
that serious, it's
playing.
just a sprain,
Like he had a problem
yeah,
with him
not
not
playing.
playing.
Not playing. If it's just a sprain, put a brace on and play. I think, that's the wrong kind of information to give out. I understand that, guys want to put their bodies on the line to win. They want to win a Super Bowl. But if a guy's career derails completely and he doesn't get paid at all, then who fault is that? The person that gave advice or the person that decided to just put on the brace and play? So, it's a double-edged sword. But I
It
personally
is.
believe Lamar Jackson made the right decision.
Yeah, man. Listen, cousin, he made the right decision, bro. This is not even close. We're talking about generational wealth. And they denying his opportunity for generational wealth at this point. We're talking about changing his life, his kids' life, his grandkids' life. And he deserved it. His talent screams that, right? But I'm gonna switch it to a different sport. Isaiah Thomas, a couple of years back, Boston Celtics. This man was on the verge of signing one of those big $200 million contracts. Okay, and he was playing hurt. Where did that leave him? Because ain't nobody. That dude is on 10-day contracts right now. He was supposed to get a long-term deal. Got hurt during those playoffs. Played hurt during those playoffs, and he never got the generational wealth contract that he deserved, that he earned. Right? Lamar Jackson is right here. This contract's been up. They franchise tagged him. And if y'all really fell in love with this Huntley character, and I called him a character, then let Lamar Jackson go without franchise tagging him again. Let him get out of there as free agency. Let another team bid for this man so he can get his generational wealth where he truly deserves. Yeah, I'm not going to travel with the team. This is a slap in the face. Y'all asking me to go on the field, but y'all don't want to pay me. Y'all know that y'all have a better opportunity to win with me being on the field, but y'all don't want to pay me. Y'all know you got an opportunity to win a championship with me on the field, but y'all don't want to pay me. Okay, this is the quarterback position. It's the most important position to anybody's franchise. To anybody, all 32 teams. It's the most important position to anybody's franchise. I'm selected as one of those 32 guys. and I'm playing at a high level as one of those 32 guys, and I'm giving y'all opportunity to win, and y'all don't want to pay me? No, I don't want to travel with y'all. I'm actually disgusted with y'all. I'm disgusted with management. I'm disgusted with coaches. I'm disgusted with the owners. Okay. And if any fan of Baltimore can't understand that, but they don't understand the struggle of African American men. Okay. Because we tired of getting shortchanged. Okay. Because that man should have got paid already. Okay. Just bottom line. Okay. Everybody else is getting paid. He's not getting paid. That's a problem.
All right, so I'm gonna respectfully add some dialogue and some context to everything because, obviously, y'all went on one side of the spectrum. There's more angles to this. This is not a one-sided thing. You have to learn how, or you have to know how the contract, you know, cap situation works. The
Yeah.
extensions and all that. So I'm about to get in here and add some context here. All right, so basically, I don't know if Lamar Jackson is playing or not playing because he's hurt. I don't know, right? Even though the word on the street, what's presented to the media, is that he's hurt. That's why he's not playing.
Right.
And if that's the real reason why he's not playing, then everything I'm about to say, you can just throw it in the garbage, flush it down the toilet. I don't mean it. But if he is not playing because he wants a new contract, then I'm gonna just call a spade a spade. He quit on his team. Now
Mm-hmm.
you can say everything I said, fair game.
Right.
But that doesn't take away from the fact that he quit on his team,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what he did. Now, if he, like I said, if he really can
If,
go and he didn't go. Now, I remember on the show, cuz you wasn't here, Zay, you was here. We was talking about Kyler Murray. Zach had a big issue with Kyler Murray, just trying to get his contract and throwing messages on social media and taking stances, threatening to not show up through training camp. And he had a problem then. You could argue that was the most appropriate time to do so because it's the off season, no distractions, nothing could affect my team. We just getting started, okay? But everybody had a problem. Not only Zach, not only you. I don't know if you did, Zay, but I know you didn't, go against Zach on that one. I know the media, had a problem with that, right? They had a problem with that, but he did it at an appropriate time. He got the contract. He played. He got hurt. He secured. Now, this is what I heard. The Ravens offered Lamar Jackson an extension worth $250 million with $133 million guaranteed at the signing. That's a larger contract than Kyler Murray, shorter than Deshaun Watson. The problem is when Deshaun Watson got his contract, horrible contract, by the way, if you watch
mm-hmm.
football, it made the owners mad because obviously the owners have a certain type of power and they want to keep everybody below. That's how I see it. That's why they got mad. And now they got to shell out money. But it was a horrible contract, and the Browns did it because they are the Browns. Now, you look at Kyler Murray's contract. So far, you can say that's a bad contract. You look at Deshaun Watson, you can say that's a bad contract, right? Now, here's where we talk about the quitting part. What Lamar Jackson did, if, like I said, once again, if he didn't play because he's not hurt and he wants that contract, it's nothing more than Antonio Brown leaving mid-game because his financial incentives wasn't met because of targets and catches. It's no difference. That was a regular season game. This is a playoff game. This is where stakes are high. This is where you need your best guys on a football field playing in a game. First of all, I'm not done. I'm almost done. Almost done. About to wrap it up with my first lap. You see, Lamar Jackson has a lot to prove from a playoff standpoint, at least to me. I don't know how y'all see it. I have not seen him have that signature win. And like I said, I like Lamar Jackson. He's talented. He's a top 10 quarterback in this league. He's going to get his money regardless elsewhere, possibly. But I have not seen him have that signature playoff win. I was looking to see that against the Bengals, against Joe Burrow, against a Josh Allen, against a Patrick Mahomes. The only playoff win that he has is against the Titans. Okay? So there's a lot more to prove. I just think these are the situations you handle in the offseason. If this is the reason why you hold out, then hold out in the offseason where it's not as big of a distraction. Okay? Don't choose this point in time to hold out. Like, nah, I just don't think that's professional. Now, we can't just cut corners here and be mad at one situation and support this situation because we like the guy. I don't play who I like and who I don't like. I just give you the real deal. He quit on his team. If he could have went on and played. Now, like I said, last point, if he's really hurt, you can flush everything I just said down the toilet.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's a fair argument. What Lil just said, quitting on his team. That's a fair argument, right? And that's something that is definitely something that needs to be questioned as well. And you have to make that decision, right? As a player, he had to make that decision, right? When midseason, week 12, whatever he's hearing behind closed doors, whatever he's hearing from his agent, whatever it is, they're not paying him. He gets hurt. Now he probably made the decision: should I rush back? Should
Right.
I tackle this recovery head on and get back on the football field as soon as I can to help this team win? Or should I take my time?
Right.
Should I wait it out? Should I slow up the recovery process? Make sure that I'm still good longevity wise, but I don't come back on the football field as fast as they want me to.
Right.
And until I get my financial security. Because right now I am, I'm just saying, I'm essentially I'm speaking for Lamar Jackson. I shouldn't be, but essentially I'm speaking for Lamar Jackson in this scenario. I am 95% of this offense. If I'm not running the football, I'm throwing the football. If the play's not an RPO, I'm essentially getting the ball. The ball is in my hands almost every possession.
Absolutely.
The chains are moving because of me, no matter what. Do I rush my recovery? Do I rush my recovery time? I think that was a decision he made: quit on my team or get paid. Quit on my team or go for more wins and then not get paid. That's probably the decision he made. He maybe made a selfish decision to say, "Hey, I'm gonna quit on my team because I'm not getting paid. The organization quit on me, so I'm gonna quit on the team." Is it right? No, because you're there to win football games. But that's the decision he had to make in order to make the money. Because now, in this particular juncture, they're showing how important he is to the team. Having Tyler Huntley had that fumble, and then after that fumble, his confidence was shot. You saw it. Once he had that fumble they ran it all the way back to the house. His confidence was completely shot.
Yeah.
He was done for. Lamar Jackson would have had that same response. But now the organization has to make a decision. Do we re-sign Lamar Jackson for X amount of dollars or bring him back indefinitely? Or do we let Huntley play it out? Or do we franchise tag him and look for a better package deal to trade? Now they have to make a tough decision because now this decision is going to really create ripple effects for their future. And they already lost the trust of Lamar Jackson. Because who's to say if they franchise tag him again, that he just sits out the entire season? Like, listen, I'm not playing for y'all.
Right.
And it opened up another can of worms. So I absolutely understand everything Lil said, and it is a real possibility that he may have quit on his team so he can secure financial security. Now, again, if it's right or wrong, that's a decision you will have to make, and you will have to decide on your moral compass. But that's a decision he probably made.
Right. Listen, man. Everything you said, Cuzzo, I get it. Right. But I just don't like the way they spin that narrative that he quit on his team when we also got to put in proper context. And Zay, you said it, that the organization quit on the team. They know signing this quarterback is important to those other 52-man roster. So they know that getting that done in the offseason or getting that done in a timely fashion makes sense. So you don't have this type of situation to come and bite you in the butt. So the organization, that narrative needs to be spun too, both ways. If Lamar Jackson quit on his team, the organization also quit on the team.
But the thing is, you realize you don't have an agent, right?
Right.
Like
okay.
that, he doesn't have an agent.
I know that he's being represented by whoever he's being represented by his parents.
No, he's representing himself.
Okay, whatever the situation may be. Some people have success of doing that. Okay, just to be fair. Like, this ain't the first time this ever happened, right? But at the end of the day, they know they got to.
It's very unorthodox. It's not the first time it ever happened. It's very unorthodox.
Listen, nobody complained.
So now negotiations is tougher.
Listen, nobody complained when Grant Hill did it because he went to Duke. They looked at him as an educated African-American male. He represented himself his entire career. Nobody said not one word about it. He got big contracts.
See, that's a different sport, though. You see, the NBA, you can get guaranteed contracts. You do get guaranteed contracts.
Right.
This is a whole different spin here.
I get what you're saying. And that's another thing, right? That you want to bring that up. These owners, billionaire owners, the football league, as these players and these brothers is putting their lives on the line, and clearly we have
should be guaranteed contracts. I said that in the last couple episodes. Absolutely.
They should be taking off this salary cap. They should be allowing these brothers to get paid. But they want to not do that, put the cap on, and so they can spin these narratives and put the pressure on them so public opinion could be like, Lamar Jackson, look at you, when we should be saying, look at these owners. Because these owners is getting billion-dollar contract TV deals, and they ain't even stepping a foot on the field or putting their lives at risk. That man is putting his life at risk. His livelihood, his whole future's at risk. Okay? Yeah, they should pay him. Then I'll go on the field right away. And everybody knows this.
Look,
but the narrative keeps getting spun around. And we're going to go right to the weaker link instead
No,
of
no,
the
no, no,
bigger
no, no,
league.
no, 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 no.
No,
I
we are.
disagree. No,
We
I
just did it.
disagree because I have most of the media is like, yo, Lamar Jackson, his contract, you have to pay him. I
No,
understand how the
I'm not
business
saying the
work in the
media.
NFL. I didn't
I'm
write
not
the
saying the
rules,
media. I'm not saying
right?
the
I
media.
did not write the rules to, contracts and everything. I did not write it. I'm just going based off what I've seen in the past, how Deshaun Watson got that $250 million guaranteed, how
Right.
the quarterbacks who got paid after him did not even touch his contract. Normally, when you have a quarterback that get paid, he offsets the market off rip, right? But the two quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, who won a Super Bowl, by the way, who else? Kyler Murray, they got paid under Deshaun Watson. So basically, that contract was an outlier. But my thing here is that a lot of people was pushing that narrative that the Ravens is going to be lost without Lamar Jackson. Look at their history. They won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. And I trust in John Harbaugh, right? Enough where they can rebuild and retool if they trade Lamar Jackson. Think
Right.
about this for a second. Russell Wilson got on like a diva when he was on the Seattle Seahawks. Pete Carroll said, you know what? Fine. You can walk. I'll trade you. I'll get a bevy of assets, draft picks, and players,
Cliff.
which the Seahawks use every bit of that. Every player they drafted played for them this year to some capacity. They used their players to some capacity, and they got to the playoffs with Geno Smith, a journeyman who hasn't been in the has been in the league for the last 10 years. Okay, and he got the most out of him. So
Right.
if you're a stable organization, the Ravens believe that they are stable enough where they can retool and reload. They have a good defense. They have a legit running game. They can get a quarterback back for Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson can get his money elsewhere. I do
Right.
believe there's a
No,
team out
and
there
I
that will
agree
pay
with that.
Lamar Jackson his money. Maybe a
That's
team like the Jets with a young foundation.
that's the thing, cousin. Don't franchise tag him then.
Mhm.
Right? Trade him. Or let him be a free agent.
I mean, you have a franchise tag for a
right.
reason,
Okay.
right?
Then,
Until you're
when
able to
franchise
negotiate
tag
another
him, if you
contract.
franchise tag him, then
Didn't they
you trade him.
franchise tag Dak though? They franchise tag Dak, and then they met and finally got the
Right.
contract
That's
they
what I'm
wanted.
saying. So you can franchise tag him and then trade him then. Because like you
Yeah,
said,
that's what I think is going to happen.
right,
That's exactly
the
what I think is going to
market,
happen.
the market is somebody will pay him and let him get what he want to go get. You know what I mean? It's just that it's too many restrictions in this NFL when these players is putting their lives on the line. They got way too many restrictions for these players. And I mean way too many. Okay? No other sport got these type of restrictions. None of them. And this is the harshest sport on the body. Why we ain't putting the pressure on these owners to drop those restrictions?
Real quick, and I want to touch back on Harborough, real quick.
Now, don't come here with that overrated take. Please don't.
No. Not even
Please
overrated.
don't come here with that overrated garbage that you were talking about
Not even
yesterday.
overrated take. Not even overrated take. I want to be an actual unbiased take here. Drafted Joe Flacco. Harbaugh had Ray Lewis. He had an outstanding defense. He had Rex Ryan calling the defensive calls. Once Rex Ryan left, once Ray Lewis retired, he has 2 playoff wins. He hasn't been into an AFC championship. Everyone talks about how he developed Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was already packaged. He was already a star. You just had to play him, right? He didn't develop anybody. He couldn't develop any of the receivers that went there. All the running backs are hurt or come and go.
Didn't they switch the offense mid-season from Joe Flacco?
That was
to
not the
Lamar
offensive
Jackson?
coordination. That was Lamar Jackson doing what he does best, and that's freestyling.
Bro,
that's
you
Lamar
have
Jackson.
a play
That is not
caller.
the playmaking.
Okay,
That was
you
not
have
the
a
play
play
caller.
caller. What are you talking about?
That's not the offensive coordinator. That was Lamar Jackson because they knew Lamar Jackson has a style that was way apart.
Duh, so they used his skill set and knew what worked for him.
Correct. So, but that's not developing him. That's him playing to what his talents are. That's not developing.
No, that's the
him.
coach is saying, I know what your talents are. I'm going to run these set of plays to build them on your skill set.
There's a notion that Harbaugh is out here developing cats, and he hasn't. He hasn't developed anybody.
Bro, he won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. Is Joe Flacco a Hall of Famer?
He had one of the greatest defenses
Joe
the
Flacco
NFL
a Hall
has
of
ever
Famer?
seen in Ray Lewis.
But cousin, real quick. The point of it is they didn't win the Super Bowl because of Flacco. They won the Super Bowl because of Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, T. Sizzle. Like, we know that.
So, all right, then guess what? Bill Belichick won a Super Bowl because he had Tom Brady. Duh.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
you're going to have good players.
Time out. We got to be fair. When Tom Brady was young, he was
No. You see, the thing is,
defense,
when we get on the media, we like to make excuses and pick and no. Let's keep the same energy.
We're talking about developing cats. Who has Harbaugh developed? Can we get a name?
My guy. They won the Super Bowl Okay, with Joe Flacco, they beat Bill Belichick twice in the playoffs.
But
Okay,
you said you were
Ed
confident
Reed,
that
bro.
Harbaugh could develop somebody if they trade Lamar Jackson. Who has he developed since Ray Lewis, Rex Ryan left that defense? He hasn't developed anybody. It's been 10 years. Who has he developed in 10 years? He hasn't developed anybody. Lamar Jackson was already packaged. He was already a star athlete going into the football team. All you did was play him.
all right. So Tom Brady was ready to go when he got drafted. If you want to play that game, because you're playing a game where I don't think you can win. Then Tom Brady was ready to go. He had it in him. He was that dog. He didn't need Bill Belichick. None of these players need coaches.
So Tom Brady came in the league with a winning
record. So Geno Smith had it in him that whole entire time. Okay, that whole entire time, none was wrong with him.
So Tom Brady had the same impact Lamar Jackson did. As soon as he touched the field, there was winning football games.
That's coach. You see how important coaches is? Geno Smith had it in him that whole entire time. How many wins you predicted for the Seahawks this year?
So now,
just answer the question, please.
Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, right? Because Tom Brady,
answer the question, bro.
Rookie year, he had impact.
How many wins did you predict
games this rookie year?
the Seattle Seahawks to win this year?
Yeah, but that's Pete Carroll, bro. He talking about Harbaugh.
So now Harbaugh's he could develop.
Just answer the question, bro. How many wins did you predict? Matter of fact, you don't gotta say nothing. I just go on Instagram and get the graphics and just
It was last in division. I had him last in division. I don't know how many wins it was last in division.
Cool. You don't remember the record?
I had him last in the division. But what does that got to do with Harbaugh? Not developing
right.
that. You know what I'm saying?
No, because I'm making a point here, okay, that quarterbacks need to be developed. That's literally my point. We saw that with Daniel Jones. We want to go to him? You want to go to him? Isn't it the same cat, Daniel Jones, who you had a problem with me ranking in my top 20s, okay, of quarterbacks this year? You had a problem with that, right? You was like, oh, this guy can't play. But yeah, he linked up with Brian Dable, and now he looks like a formidable quarterback that can play. Coaching is important.
Outside of playing, what has Harbaugh done for Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson is doing everything he did. You saw in Louisville. What has he changed? What part of his game has he changed? There's nothing that changed from Louisville that he's doing on the NFL football field. It's the same dude.
Thank you, Mr. Eastern Conference. Thank you. Okay. Just because he did not develop anybody doesn't mean this guy is not a good coach.
No, I didn't say that. What I said. I said you said you're confident in developing another guy after Lamar Jackson. Who has he developed though? That's my question. He hasn't developed anybody. Even look, you said the Joe Flacco
First
thing.
of all, so we're just not going to give the Ravens no credit for drafting Lamar Jackson when he was about to go to the second round. We just not gonna give no credit to the team that drafted Lamar Jackson.
Gets that? That gets the credit for that?
We just don't get no credit. No credit for drafting Lamar Jackson.
So wait, Harbaugh gets credit for drafting Lamar Jackson now? He's the GM?
Him and the GM, most coaches in the GM, they go hand in hand with the picks.
Listen, at the end of the day, man, we understand coaching is a valuable piece, right? But Lamar Jackson, to get back to the original topic of the situation, he's being portrayed as he quit on his team, and I just believe the ownership quit on him.
And I would just say this to end here. He did quit on his team. He did not play in the game. Like I said, if he wasn't really hurt. And I really put a disclaimer on my take about, if he's really hurt, he did not quit on his team. I'm not sure. I just know it's suspect that he wasn't there to support his team. That's another thing. If you can't play, you can't play. You shouldn't play if you can't play. You should not jeopardize your health that way. But if you can at least support your teammate on the sideline, okay, come on. Like, what are we doing? That's the ultimate team.
Clearly they have rift in this organization.
Yeah, clearly. Right. And clearly there's a mutual disconnect. Right. And clearly we quit on the team in the process. We can't say that the Ravens quit on Lamar Jackson when they offered him a contract higher than Kyler Murray. They just can't get it together. They just can't meet. So if you can't meet at the middle ground, we can't, just trade him.
Yeah,
trade it to somebody that's willing to pay him.
I say trade him, definitely.
Because it's the same organization that is a no tolerance for BS type of organization. When ET3, Earl Thomas, got into one practice off the field or on the field incident, he was out of there. And that was one of the best players that they just signed that offseason. And they like, get out of here. So they don't play that. They are stable enough to be like, you know what? If we can't meet at a common ground, then we just gonna have to trade you. Now, like I
I
said,
think it's in Detroit.
I do believe that Lamar Jackson is worth the money that he wants. But in the NFL, in the way how the NFL is working, he's probably going to have to get it elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is.